Have you ever felt like everything was falling apart? Like the one thing holding you together was being deliberately torn to pieces? That's exactly what happened to Alara. She wasn't just part of a team, she was the heart of it. The five of them, known as the Vanguard, were more than colleagues, they were family, forged in the fires of countless challenges. They were unstoppable. Or so they thought. A new commander, a man named Thorn, saw their bond not as a strength, but as a threat to his own authority. He couldn't control them as a unit, so he decided to break them. One by one, they were reassigned. Kale, the stoic strategist, was sent to a remote Arctic outpost. Lena, the brilliant engineer, was transferred to a dusty archival division, her talents wasted on cataloging old Jox, the fearless scout, was dispatched to a dense jungle on the other side of the planet, and Ronan, the gentle giant and their moral compass, was assigned to a mundane supply depot. Alara was left behind, alone at their old headquarters, surrounded by ghosts and memories. The message was clear. The Vanguard was officially disbanded. Thorn expected Ilara to fall in line to accept the new reality, but he underestimated her. Loneliness turned into resolve. Grief turned into a burning fire. She knew their strength wasn't just in their individual skills, but in their connection. Separated, they were vulnerable. Together, they were a force of nature. Thorn hadn't just separated a team. He had created a problem for himself, a problem named Elect. Her mission was no longer about following orders. It was about defiance. It was about reconnecting the fight. Her first move was subtle. Using a hidden communication channel they had built years ago, a digital lifeline only they knew, she sent a simple, encrypted message, a single musical note, the first note of a song they always hummed before a mission. It was a call to remember, a promise. Miles away in the freezing cold, Kale heard it, and a flicker of hope ignited in his chest. Deep in the archives, Lena's screen blinked with the familiar frequency, and she smiled for the first time in weeks. In the sweltering jungle, Jox's device vibrated with the signal, a welcome sound amidst the cacophony of wildlife. And in the quiet depot, Ronan saw the message and knew it was time. Getting them back wasn't going to be easy. Thorn had eyes and ears everywhere. Ilara had to move like a ghost. She started by requisitioning a stealth transport, using a loophole in the regulations that only a master of bureaucracy like Lena could have found and taught her. Her first stop was the Arctic. She landed the ship under the cover of a fierce blizzard, meeting Kale at a prearranged coordinate. Seeing him, gaunt but resolute, reaffirmed her purpose. Together, they flew to the archives. Lena had already bypassed security, creating a digital ghost that showed her still at her desk while she slipped out to meet them. 3 down, 2 to go. The jungle was the hardest. Jox was deep in uncharted territory, but he had left them a trail of breadcrumbs, only they would understand patterns in broken branches, symbols carved into ancient trees. They found him tracking a dangerous creature, but his focus immediately shifted when he saw them. The reunion was brief but powerful. With Jox aboard, they made their final stop for Ronan. He had already organized a supply error, redirecting a convoy to a remote location where he could slip away unnoticed. When he stepped onto the ship, the family was whole again. The Vanguard was back. They returned not to their old base, but to a hidden sanctuary they had prepared for a day just like this. Thorn, comfortable in his new power, was completely unaware. He thought he had scattered his problem to the winds, but Ilara had gathered the storm. They weren't just a team anymore. They were a rebellion. They had been separated, but she had reconnected the fight, not just for themselves, but for the very principles Thorn sought to crush. Their next mission wasn't one they were assigned. It was one they chose. And Thorn was about to find out what happens when you try to break something that is truly unbreakable. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. See you next time.